Alright, what's up guys? So, life makes you want to shut down. And just living in this world makes you feel this way because you need to have a place to live. You need to have some food on the table and your bills are getting paid. And working a job can make you shut down because you can deal with toxic coworkers. You can deal with a toxic boss, or maybe the job is just so overwhelming and so stressful that it just affects your life, and the thing is, like, trying to get your basic needs makes you want to shut down because of these jobs are just difficult in a way where you just want to get your work done and you just go home and that's it. You get your things done, but like you work at a job and you deal with other things. You deal with stuff that is unnecessary, stuff that affects your health. And how long can you take it, right? How long is your body going to respond to that? How long is your mental up here going to tolerate all the issues at the job, right? Because it can affect your life, and if it's not addressed, you keep suppressing that, you're ignoring it, and you're gonna shut down, Just living, just getting your basic stuff just makes you want to shut down, and then you have like parents, right? There's people that have good parents, there's people that have bad ones, and when you have bad parents, for example, they can make you shut down because they can abuse you physically, sexually, or emotionally. And if you suppress it, right, like I said before, and it's not addressed, and it's gonna affect you in adulthood. It's gonna give you more problems, and you could be using things to escape, like self-destructive behavior with things like drinking alcohol to black out, and then you have problems with that, whatever it is. And you're doing that because you're trying to relieve the pain. You're trying to relieve what's going on from the past, and no one wants to hear you out. That's the problem, These parents make you want to shut down. These abusive ones, these neglectful ones. You never asked for that. You don't deserve that. And I guess we'll go back to jobs again, just like the cost of living, Yeah, there's people that have a hard time budgeting and stuff, and they just are reckless with it. But there's people out there that do budget, and they still can't afford stuff. They can't even afford like a living. Right? And like trying to get groceries is high, trying to get a better vehicle is high, just getting a roof over your head to rent is high, or buying a house. It makes you want to shut down because you'll work 2 jobs or 3 jobs. You can only take so much, and it can shut you down, You start to get irritable, you start to get agitated, you start to burn out basically, and you won't be able to do those things anymore. You won't be able to be motivated to work, because the cost of living makes people want to overwork, and it makes people shut down, And yeah, when you have kids, you always have to work, You have to sacrifice, but that's what happens though. I said, I guess when you have kids, parents shut down, That's, something that they don't think about before they bring a child here, A lot of these parents shut down, and if they don't try to solve the problem in a way where it's healthy, where they don't even treat it right, and it's gonna worsen the children, and it's a never-ending cycle. Like, parents can shut down from taking care of kids. This life will make you want to shut down when you're going to school. When you're a kid, for example, you're just trying to learn and you're trying to get your work done, so when you graduate school, you're prepared for the real world. But like, say if you were born with a learning disability, you have autism or ADHD that just affect how you learn, and people are judgmental. People are bullies, and they overlook like what you're good at, and they just see your disability or something at school, and how long can you take that abuse for, right? And even teachers could be this way. They could be abusive, and they put their stress out on you because, oh, you're not getting it. You're too slow to understand how to do this classroom assignment, for example. And then you deal with that at school and you shut down, as a kid. And you develop mental health problems. You develop problems like at home from school, right? You feel anxious, like waking up in the morning just to go to the bus, right? Because then you gotta deal with the kids in there. Then you gotta deal with the teachers that you don't like. It's a never-ending cycle. It'll make you want to shut down. And I can see why kids drop out of school. I can see why kids don't go to school and they never come back, right? Because that traumatizes kids, Not every kid, but, when something like that, like, hinders your life, like a learning disability, and, like, no one seems to acknowledge how you feel, and no one seems to acknowledge that you're getting treated like garbage, then you're gonna get shut down, You're a target when you have those things and you never asked for it, right? And special ed's, you're a target for that, I know because I experienced that. Fucking sucks. But regardless of people that were in special ed, like, you could still be shut down in school even if you're in regular classes, right? Bullies and social anxiety, like, from the kids in there, and teachers, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't discriminate. Like, school can shut anybody down, I guess even the teachers could get shut down because it could overwhelm them. They don't get paid enough, Society can shut you down. Society expects you to conform, and not everyone wants to conform. And when you're not trying to conform, people say, what's wrong with you? Why don't you want to belong to society, Not everyone wants to do these things, and you just get shut down when society pushes it onto you. The society's right in your face and tries to give you unsolicited advice on how to accomplish something that you don't even want to do, And it just, how long can you deal with that from society, trying to conform to social norms, Not everyone wants to do that. Or people try to do that, for example, and they get shut down because it burns them out, Trying to compare themselves to others too much, trying to fit in constantly, Yeah, this life will shut you down when you have health problems in this world, like mental health problems, have physical health problems. It's just inevitable, right? Some of it can be like your lifestyle. Like, if you have an unhealthy lifestyle, you have more of a chance to have more health problems, or it's a hereditary disease where you're born and you develop, like, kidney failure. I don't know if it's hereditary, but it's just, all I'm saying is Like if you have kidney failure, it could be hereditary. It's just inevitable that you'll have health problems from either your lifestyle or genetics um, or like an injury, right? Because you can be in this world, get older, and you're overworked, you get injured, you know? Life will shut you down because of that. It can be more impactful than all the good things that you experienced in this life, you know? Just traumatic experiences in life just will shut you down. Like trauma from your childhood, like school or parents, or for example, siblings, or trauma in adulthood, like dealing with these jobs, how they can be toxic, right? Like it can shut you down, you know. It can make you want to stay in your room all day and just not even move, and you just feel achy, you feel like garbage, and you just feel so down, you know? Makes you want to shut down. This life in general just makes you feel this way, you know? Like your body's telling you, I'm hungry, I need to go to the bathroom, I need to entertain myself more, I need an orgasm, or I need to move around more, I need to sit down. It'll shut you down. It can be overwhelming at times, you know. Like say if you're not getting your needs met, right? It can make you feel frustrated, you know. And this life will just shut you down in a lot of ways. It will just, like, you can get hit by a bus and you can get paralyzed, and it's painful. It's making you feel worse, and you can't do the things like you used to. It makes you shut down. It makes you feel more bitter, you know. Now, like, I guess the older I get, I can see why there's people more bitter about things in this life, you know. Why people feel like garbage when things happen to them and they don't deserve it, you know. It's like unnecessary. It's pathetic. Like, for example, with me, I'm getting shut down with these jobs. Like, my job right now, I'm dealing with a passive aggressive boss, and yesterday he blamed me and my coworker for like saying that he didn't cut the paver for the retaining wall, or the foundation, I mean. Like he said that me and my coworker cut that foundation block, when really we saw him do it, you know. And he's giving us the silent treatment. He's being sarcastic in a mean way, you know. I'm just getting shut down because I've dealt with these jobs, and I don't react well a lot of times with that. I'll say hateful things. I'll say like some discriminating things or something, and it's not the right thing to do when they're trying to see me react. They're trying to make me feel like the bad guy, you know. And that's how it is at these jobs. That's why, like, if you're at a job, you have a hard time dealing with people in there. They'll make you shut down. They want to see you react, like in my one video, you know, and they want to make you feel like shit. I guess that's just off topic, but yeah, this life makes you want to shut down, and you just don't want to do any of this shit anymore, you know. You just don't want to keep going. Just it sucks, you know. Um, Thing is, I don't like being like this. I don't like feeling shut down and burnt out and stressed, you know. Like, I like feeling good. I like feeling better, you know. It's just like people and life hits you and you start getting health problems and never ending cycle trying to survive, and your past traumas, and it'll just shut you down, you know? I guess one more thing before I end this video, I guess think about the future will shut you down. You'll be anxious all the time, and your future's uncertain, and it's just, you'll overthink it, and it could spiral in your head all the time, right? Yeah, it'll make you shut down, make you wanna just, like, make it stop, you know? It's terrible. The thing is, there's people out there that shut down more than others. There's people that dealt with a lot more things than me, for example, and they shut down from certain things easily than I do, for example. Or, and there's people that don't shut down as much, you know? Right? So, it's terrible. I mean, hopefully the people that are feeling like this, hopefully they get better, you know? This feeling sucks. It's something that you never asked for, you know? I'll catch you guys later.